fish. What kind? Let's discuss. It's an Ilish, right? So the Western world knows salmon, and the Asian, South Asian, we know Ilish. It's the most prized fish. It's patented under the Bangladeshi National Fish Act, which means this is the national fish of Bangladesh, and it tastes better than salmon. That's right, I said it. The usual basis, Ilish is usually made into steaks like this, and then it's cooked in various ways. But today we are making mastered Ilish, which is shorisha Ilish. Yes, we're making shorisha Ilish. So but we're going to elevate it. So we're just going to fillet it just like this. Okay. So we're going into the bottom, right, and we're going to take the whole fish apart just like this. So take the bottom out, and then we're going to cut it from the bone so that we can fillet it. So once it's done, I'll be back. Okay, now, so we are just breaking the fish right now, bit by bit. So as you can see, we are just following the bones over here, right? So we're going bit by bit, and in we go. Right, so now let's turn the fish around. And then we're going to cut through from here. So usually there is eggs inside, and I think there is egg in this fish. So we'll be very careful as we take it apart. Yep, so we don't want to puncture the roux. So another fact about Ilish is that it's very bony, right? It's known for its infamous bones. So, like you will need quite a bit of strength to break this fish apart. So just keep on going like this, and you should reach to the end of the tail and swipe it up as we go. There we go. So we'll just clean the fish from the inside, and we have all of this down. Now we just open the fillet out, right? So scrape all the meat off like that. And so now we have a fillet which has been taken out of the fish. Now, how do we debone a Ilish, right? So it's known to be impossible to be deboned, but actually it's not. So the main bones are right here, and then you see the humps, right? So one hump, there is the main bones right there, you can feel it. So what I'm going to do is, you see, these are the bones. So what I'm going to just do is that I'm going to just take the meat apart, right, like this, see? Just going to open the meat up, right? And then I'm just going to scoop all of these bones out, right? So you see, using just my finger, I'm going to scoop all of these bones out, and that's basically it. So you have just deboned a impossible fish to be deboned previously, Ilish. So children, do focus on your biology classes. It will really come into handy. Not that we learn fish aqua biology that much. So you got one of them cleaned out, right? So now the second one is right here. So again, same thing. You just have to open it like that, right? You don't even have to use any strength because they just split open apart. So you just open it like this. Make sure that your knife is always on the side of the bones, right? And as you can see that this whole bone just pops out like that. And then you open it up from the other side and you just debone it, right? So there you go. Open up from the other side, and on this side, there you go. And you just pull the whole thing out. Again, using your fingers, nothing else. So you've just deboned the whole fish. There you go. So last but not least, the final piece of the puzzle to deboning the whole Ilish is this, right? So this is the most difficult part because it's a really thin piece of muscle right there, and it's basically the belly of the fish. So you have to be very careful as you open it up like this. Make sure your knife is hitting against the bone as always, because we want to waste as little of the fish as possible, right? Because this is a very, very expensive fish. This is a 2.5 kg and it's almost $95. Right, there you go. And we have the bones again, see? So here's the bones. Just take this and slit it open. Now that's just beautiful, yeah. And the last part is this is just a whole collarbone part, right? So you just take it out and cut it away. And just like that, you have deboned Ilish. Right, it might not look pretty right now, but then once we do the cleanup and all that, we put the meat back to where it was, it's going to look beautiful. So I'll be back right after that. So I've cleaned up the fish. So as you can see that we have taken out the bones from here, from all the sides that have been cut up, right? So now you need to know that there is still a bit of bones that's in there, right, on the margins, right? If you want to take those out too, you just have to take the skin off, and then those will come off with the skin, because as you can see that those are just touching the skins barely, right? So it's just the barely skin side bones. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this piece and we're going to make mustard Ilish, shorisha Ilish, right? So let's go make that. 3, 2, 1. All right there, so we have some mustard seeds in there, right? So as you can see that we have some black ones, well, it's called a red mustard seed, but then they look black to me. And then we got some yellow ones in there. So we have been soaking them for about 30 minutes, and I've changed the water because we want to take that tartness out of that, yeah? So to that, we're going to add 2 green chilies, right? And then we're just going to go in with our blitzer, and then we're going to blend it together. So you can see that the emulsion has been made, right? So you can see it's still a bit grainy. We want that because we want to feel a bit of texture there. And then to that, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of salt, right? So because later on we do not want any more salt to be added. So we're just going to add the salt in this, and we're going to cook the whole thing with this, the saltiness of this. So if you have noticed, we have already started the cooking process. So I'm going to put in some mustard oil now. Right, so not a lot, just a bit, and this will basically, when it gives out its fragrance, we'll go in with all the spices. So just about 10 seconds. So the mustard oil is really hot, and then it gives out the nice fragrance. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 more chilies in there, and this will basically smoke in the mustard oil. So once the chilies have been blistered like this, we will go in with the turmeric powder. So that's about half a tablespoon, and we'll go in with the chili powder. That's another half a tablespoon. We just want their color to come up, so we're just going to go in there. We reduce the heat to low. So now this is, you need to be very careful to not burn the spices. So we reduce the heat to low, and once they are nice and smoky and they give out their fragrance, what you do is you add a bit of water to it. So once the spices are a bit smoky, then you add a little bit of water to it so that they stop. You add in the fish. You just go in with the fish, skin side down, and you add it in. From here onwards, it's all about the playing with the heat, right? You don't want it to burn. And then you don't want it to overcook, so you just go in slowly, and then you just want to fry the skin of the fish a bit, right? So you keep on going like this, and we'll come back once it's done. So the fish has been cooking for about 2 minutes now, and the sides, the heat is rising, so the skin must be done underneath. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the mustard mixture on the fish, and it will go over the top. So we'll not use our spatula, we'll just move it like this slowly. And then we'll basically coat the whole fish with this sauce. You just go on top and just admire how beautiful it is. Go around again, mix all the sides, and go to the top again. Right now, if I were to explain to you the fragrance in the kitchen, it's all mustardy, and the fattiness from Ilish is just going across the kitchen right now. It's quite amazing. Yeah. If you don't make it, you're never going to taste it, right? And you're never going to experience this scent. Like mustard is being sweet, and it's lovely. Yeah. So on the medium to low heat, we're going to cook it down for another 5 to 10 minutes, right? When the fish is all done. And then we're going to give it one flip so that the other side is done for about 2 minutes. And then the dish is done. So now that we've put in the mustard mix, we're just going to add in a bit of black cumin. So, you know, black cumin, it brings in a very nutty taste, and it's quite amazing, really. We just added in all the black cumin inside, and then we'll let it cook down for about 5 minutes more. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to attempt the flip and just bring up your pan like this, right? You get a bit of sauce underneath, and then you flip it. So look, wow. Look at the skin. It's so nice and browned, yeah? So you got the skin nice and browned, and now you cook on the other side. It's going to be an amazing dish. I've scoured through whole of YouTube, and I've not found like this. Like salmon, instead of making it into steak, they make it into a very nice fillet. So let's see how it will turn out. But from my experience, it was great, always. So as you're cooking it down, what we want to do is we also want to baste it, right? So the technique of basting is basically used with more of a French technique, but then it works with any cuisine. Like you want to cover it with the mustard so it cooks from the top and bottom, plus a lot of flavor goes inside, right? Just going to baste it and baste it and baste it until it's done. Alrighty, so the fish is finally done, and we're just going to put a drizzle of mustard oil on top, right? And this last drizzle of mustard oil really makes a big difference, and it keeps it fresh. The mustard tastes fresh. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to plate this, and again I'm going to try a plating video. Last time didn't go well. Hope this time goes well. So it is off. Hey there, so we got some rice over here, and then what we're going to do is quite a simple plating. We're going to take the fish from here, and then we're going to slowly put it over the rice. Right, so take a spoon, put it over the rice, and just drop it. You want the fish to be cascading just like that, okay? And then after that, you will take some of that mustard from the pan. I'm just going to drizzle on top like this. So that it looks just amazing. And then take a tissue, put it around your thumb like this, and clean up the plate. I can go on and you can add a bit of garnish for coriander and other items, but then you will lose the taste of the Ilish itself, right? So why not just leave it as it is? You got the Ilish, you got the rice, and it's just as good as that, right? So I hope you enjoyed. Do like and subscribe, and I'll probably clean it up a bit and then take a photo, put it on the thumbnails. Yeah. All right, thank you.